Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today I'm going to show something I started. I just accumulated a press, a 12-ton press by Harbor Freight, and it's pretty much all that I'll ever need for this shop. But it didn't have a handle, so I made one. And this was out of a piece of steel that Crafted sent me, which, by the way, thank you very much, Crafted. So I just left the same shape. It had this much on that end, and just chamfered that and drilled a hole the same size as the jack screw and filed these in. And it works pretty good on the jack. And I'm polishing this right now. I want to do it first, because if I do this first, then I won't have to use the jaws to grab a hold of this and mess up my knurling. So if I do this part first and then do the knurling, then it's going to hide any of the imperfections that the jaws put on it to begin with. So it'll just be knurled. So we're going to get started on that. So we're going to polish it first. I've already started on it, but I took it out to show. Now, when I put a item in the jaws, this is something that I should probably point out. Anytime you're putting something in there, you kind of jiggle it around until you find center as you're tightening it down. And that will make sure that you're pretty close to being center. And then you can just crank down on it and be done with it, depending on what you're using, of course. If this is aluminum, you don't want to crank down on it. If I didn't want to mar this, I'd have some soft jaws, but I ain't worried about it. So now we're going to go ahead and start polishing on this, and I've started out with 180 sandpaper, and we're going to try to get it down as smooth as we can with it, with no lines in it. And probably should have filed first, but I didn't. But probably ought to clean my paper off a little bit, shouldn't I? Alright, so let's get started. We're getting there. Long way to go. I want to polish that thing to a mirror. But we're going to try a thinner wet dry paper and see what that'll do for us. Alright, now we're going to try this here. I really don't know what it is. It doesn't say on the back of it. This is kind of a messed up roll. There's no information on it. All the important information is gone. So anyway, we're going to fold that in half. We got about, I don't know, 20 inches, 17, 18, somewhere around there. And we're going to start polishing with that. Alright, now we find out where all the imperfections are and what you need to do. So we have some lines right here that are a little deeper. I mean, you can barely feel them. So now that we've done this fine paper, we've got that all smooth. Now we can see where all the imperfections are. So this is telling me that I'm going to have to go back to 180. Now this will fluff up the metal, and then when you go back with the 220, it'll kind of fine it back out again, and then it might take you several times to do this, but if you want a mirror finish all the way around that and look like it had never been machined, then this is what it takes. I think that's as good as I'm getting it. So now we get to take that out. Turn it around. Pretty smooth. Now what we're going to do is, now we need to file it. Now we got a choice here. We can take, this is going to start us off, and we can either do V shape or we can do round. And I'm wondering if round wouldn't look better. So let's start off with, check my camera here, make sure my battery's not dying on me. So we're going to try to file that down a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over and mask this off right here, and we're going to paint this black. Alright, so as soon as I find my chuck that I always disappear or lose, chuck's never where I want it to be. Now I'm going to leave that in there because I'm probably going to need it again here in a minute. So now we'll paint this and I'll be right back. Now as everybody can see, what I did is took black spray paint, painted the whole thing. I put it in here, I started it spinning, and I used a nice clean file, cleaned it off, and just sat there and went across it a few times until it was back down to smooth. And then I took this sandpaper here and sanded it the rest of the way. And now I have black lines in it. So now we can take this bad boy out. And take the tape off of it. I also painted this end of it. So now we get to find where the end of the tape goes, which should be right there somewhere. I see it. I'm not crazy, but I could be. Maybe that's it. Right there it is. Alright, so now we get to take the tape off of it to reveal the beauty.